Hi, I'm James Sadler, and as president and on behalf of the Uraidla and Summertown Horticultural and Floricultural Show, its society, its members and committee, I would like to welcome you to this year's 2020 Uraidla show. The show must go on, and it's gone online. A sincere thank you to the East Torrens Historical Society, who have given us permission to use many of the images you'll see throughout this film. Our first category in the new online Uraidla show is honey.
Now this is James, our president. You know James?
Shows like this are a very important part of rural society, and I think it very important that we continue to knit those fibres together and not let them come apart. By doing this show remotely and by video, then I think it maintains that feeling that things are okay and there is behind the scenes a little bit of normality going on. So if we can do at least something to bring communities together, even if it's indirectly, then I think that maintains a certain continuity, and I think it also reinforces to people, particularly in these tough times, that actually, you know, there is some normal out there. Last spring was very dry and not a good one for bees and for honey. Although we had lots of flowers, a lot of the flowers were dry because of the lack of moisture. This year, certainly around my area, my bees have been going very, very well. Honey's been flowing in nicely, and I'm expecting to see some really interesting honeys. I've got one that is almost as black as treacle at the moment. It's got a very unusual taste. I'm not quite sure what it came off because all my honeys are sort of mixed flora, but something out there is affecting this honey, and it is interesting because different seasons, different years, different flowers produce different honeys. And if you look at the wonderful Australian vegetation, it has an amazing way of bouncing back after these bushfires, and you just got to drive around here, and in some parts you wouldn't know that there's been a bushfire. It's been quite extraordinary. So as long as those plants are flowering, then we should still get a good honey crop. So where's my list? You sent in your paperwork already?
I did.
And you're under the name?
Baker, Joan.
What are the
Liquid honey, creamed honey, and a block of wax.
That is beautiful. Have a look at that. Because that also shows some of the clarity of the wax as well. So I'm looking at top and bottom and consistency as well. And that's a lovely block of honey. And it smells divine. The thing about honeys is, of course, they all taste different. They're all quite different depending on what plants they've come off. Some have a real heat at the back of the throat, some have a very subtle flavour. But what I'm after, are two distinct things. I want to make sure that there's no evidence of overheating the honey. I mean, people shouldn't be heating the honey up, but sometimes people do, thinking this will help clarify it, and they inadvertently cook their honey. So I'm looking for that kind of slightly cooked caramelly taste. But also the other thing is, if the moisture content isn't right in a honey, it'll just start to ferment ever so slightly. So I'm tasting for that kind of slightly brewed flavour, slightly beery flavour. Sometimes, so you're looking for that texture, that nice and smooth. You can't criticise a honey because it doesn't taste nice, because that's its natural flavour. If it comes off a particular plant that produces a slightly unsavoury honey, you can't really criticise that because it's a natural product. What you're looking for are where the entrant hasn't quite got it right, cooked it or fermented it or what have you. It's down to 3 honeys, and they've all scored exactly the same. They've both got 90 points out of 100. These are the 3. I've got a creamed honey, which, although it scored well as a creamed honey, I'm going to set it aside because there were some flaws with that, but it still scored nonetheless quite well. But it comes down to these 2 here, which are liquid honeys. One is from imported flora, and the other is from native flora. Okay, but that again shouldn't matter. They're still judged equally. They're both in the same sort of colour range, and they both got a very beautiful flavour, both very smooth honeys. No evidence of candying per se, but they've both got air bubbles locked into them that could have been clarified better. And the distinguishing feature that casts one from the other is that this one has got a lot more air bubbles into it, and for a liquid honey is verging on candied, where this one is clearer, and for a liquid honey is a liquid honey. There's not a lot to it, and it hasn't gone crystalline, but it has almost set. But overall, flavour as well came into it. I think it comes down to Joan Baker's got it. I'm really pleased to give that one to Joan Baker.
Well, on behalf of the Uraidla show, I just wanted to say a heartfelt thank you to everyone at Basket Range Sandstone for their sponsorship. They are our principal sponsors. Thank you very much to everyone there. Neil, Toffer, Charlie, you all know who you are. Thanks once again for being with us, especially in such a difficult year. From classical to contemporary, from internal to external, Basket Range Sandstone offer you a wide range of quality sandstone for all your building needs.
Now Literary with Kids.
Good morning and welcome to the Uraidla show online. As you can see, I'm not in Uraidla, but my desktop background may well be. My name's Russell Watton and I run the literary competition. So let's go through. You'll see that this year, just to keep things brief, we've got 5 winners from the different sections, and we'll go through those now. So starting with our juniors, 5 and under. This piece is from Henry Smith, aged 4. It's called A Dinosaur. Once upon a time, there was a dinosaur going on an adventure. It was looking for its friend. The dinosaur was very thirsty, so it drank some water. Then it found its friend, and it was in a bear cave. The end. Fantastic story, Henry. Well done. The best 4-year-old story I've ever read. So that won first prize in that section. Moving on to our 6 to 8s, and we have Elodie from Uraidla Primary School, who has this beautiful picture of a chicken, and she has written, "The chicken says, 'Buck, buck.' It likes to peck at the seed. It loves eating and sleeping. He has very soft feathers. He hatched out of an egg. He doesn't lay eggs. Also, he loves scratching at the ground." And it's a beautiful picture of a chicken as well, Elodie. Well done. So you've won in your section of 6 to 8-year-olds. Fantastic. Our third section is juniors, 9 to 12. And this winner comes from Scott Creek Primary School. It's Penny. And Penny wrote a poem about spring. So, spring. I can see newborn babies. I can hear the sweet cheeps of little birds. I can smell fresh air. I can feel the water of the creeks on my hands. I can taste the sweet honey from the bees. Fantastic stuff, Penny. That one went down really well. We really loved that poem in the judging room. Fantastic stuff. Then in our 13 to 16-year-olds, it was Jessie from Uraidla Primary School. And Jessie wrote about Uraidla. Uraidla. I see all of the beautiful vineyards. I smell the freshly baked bread from the bakery. I hear the children at the primary school screaming with joy. I feel the cool shock when the rain hits my skin. I taste the delicious brownies from the Uraidla pantry. I think what a wonderful town I live in. You do live in a wonderful town, Jesse. Congratulations. It's a fantastic poem. You've won in the 13 to 16-year-old section. And finally, yet again, our winner in the open section, he seems to keep on doing this, is Jim McBride. And Jim's written a fantastic poem that the judges just loved that we'd like to share. So we'll bring it up for everybody to read. It's called Cyclone Rona. Oh, what do I think? Where do I start? To write a great poem that comes from the heart. I want to do right. I want to do well. And for all of the hills, my heart wants to swell. The first Sunday in November is one I should always remember. The Uraidla Show Day of fun and cheer. Now in October, that auspicious day draws near. But wait, do I believe my ears? Cyclone Rona has changed what we hold dear. The day is now virtual and online, not one where we go and feel the sunshine. How I know what chooks to buy, or how a watermelon flies across the sky. I can't taste the multitude of local wine and chew on food that's simply divine. How do I find a great cake baker? And who is the best Lego maker or Lego maker? No, I'm not going to go into that debate right now. Smiles, kids, and the climbing of trees without fear. The rides, the fairy floss, all wait for us next year. Well, if writing a poem is all I can add, then a small bit of my heart will be glad. I hope that with this little ditty of a rhyme, a few others' funny bone might chime. So while this year the competition is on, and there are still prizes to be won, I know that a day that will top all and be most fun awaits us all in 2021. So that was our winner in the adult section, and a clear winner as well. So really, really great stuff again, Jim. And Jim takes home the prize of our champion senior writer, or our champion open writer. And when we come to our junior writers, the judges had to make a decision between all of these and decided that Elodie of Uraidla Primary School has won for her poem about chickens. So I will keep this rather brief, but thank you everybody who entered. We had upwards of probably 75 entries again this year in an online section, which was really, really good. So thank you to everybody who joined in, and I hope to see you all in person at the 2021 Uraidla Show.
And now to a section that has grown this year. That is the homebrewed beers, wine and liqueurs.
Well, most country shows sort of have cancelled altogether and not run anything. So here, the show have decided to do something and still run a few sections and still have a show going, and then sort of showing everybody online afterwards. So it's really something quite unique that not many other shows have done anything quite like that. So yeah. Well, at this section here, we never actually had any restrictions. It's just sort of as open like normal, and our entry is probably up a little bit on last year when it was sort of a normal show. So so there's been a lot of really good interest. So yeah.
There would be a lot more people brewing this year because of COVID, and a lot of people sort of getting into it as well. I've put in a rye pale ale, a cider, a Baltic porter and a stout.
I think it's terrific that there's something happening. I think it's very important to keep the continuity going, and lovely to look around and see some of the entries here. So in different classes, diverse classes, and this table is very impressive, isn't it? Really good that there's so many people involved.
I just got the green ash, this, and I've got a sparkling Shiraz. It's like a fun wine. I was going to call it Champagnella. But yeah, I'll finish up just liver sparkling on it. Yeah, yeah. I'm not about money. It's about the quality I'm trying to do. You know, we don't want a surprise because we got a beautiful block, so we've got a plenty gully wind, lots of sunshine, consistent rainfall. Nature does everything for me, you know, and I want to live it at that as natural as I can. Yeah.
Big hearty thank you to Glenn, Sandy and everyone here associated with Adelaide Recycled Timbers for their ongoing and much appreciated support of the Uraidla show. Without these principal sponsors, it just wouldn't have happened. Thanks for being part of our community, and thank you. Coming up, we have results from our cooking competition. But first, here's Tara and Denise.
Hi, I'm Denise Manson, and I've lived in Piccadilly for 24 years, and I used to run the Owl and Elephant Cafe in Uraidla, and I now work as a cook at the Montessori School in Stirling.
I'm Tara Kovaldick. I married Richard Kovaldick, the market gardeners down on Spont Road, who have been down there for over 170 years. I'm currently working on the farm with Richard, and I'm also a chef myself. I've been cooking for over 16 years. So today we are going to show you a few simple platters because we're heading into the entertaining season. Lots of veggies, healthy, and a few nice gourmet dips you can easily make yourself. A cheese platter and also a dessert platter using local produce, Australian produce, what's around at the time. Just do some celery sticks, capsicum, some cucumber, some carrots, simple easy things that the kids will also eat as well.
So while Tara's prepping her veg, I've just cooked about 200 grams of peas, just a little bit longer than you would normally cook them. And then I'm going to add a lump of butter, about what we call a walnut of butter, just to sort of melt in there. Just get that nice and covered up. We'll give that a minute to melt. I chopped the top off a head of garlic, rubbed it with a bit of oil, and that's roasted in the oven for about 40 minutes. And what it makes is a really sweet garlic puree. You can see it squishing out. It's very satisfying to squish the garlic out. So that goes in. Just mash that in. And a couple of tablespoons of parmesan as well. So I've just got a ready grated parmesan here that I'm using to do that. You just smell that garlic.
So with the asparagus, you can either blanch it, which is pop it into some boiling water for 30 seconds and then refresh it in ice water to stop the cooking. This is quite young and tender asparagus, which you can still eat raw. So we're going to leave it raw on our platter today. You always want to, they say rule of thumb is where it snaps is where it is the tender part. The bottom part, you want to discard that one. I just chop it.
It's because you're a chef. I haven't got time to faff around.
No.
Now, this isn't quite as much as I usually have it because I haven't got a food processor here, but you can run it quickly through a food processor or a NutriBullet to get it to that slightly creamier consistency. But if you're really pushed for time and you can't make your own dip and you just want to buy some dips, of course that's absolutely fine. I think it's really nice though to take them out of the plastic tubs. You're not pretending that you've made them. One really nice thing are these sugarcane boats, completely biodegradable, that look really nice on a platter. These are actually from Packrite, so they're in large quantities, but you can sometimes get them at places like Cheapest Chips, or just keep an eye out, you know, those crafty shops. They're really handy to have.
They are handy. So we grow beetroots down on the farm. So this is one of my favourite dips. I roast off the beetroot in some balsamic, some garlic, a little bit of sugar, and thyme, and then until it's completely tender, and then I blend it up with some chickpeas, and salt and pepper, and you can add feta if you like. I don't, I keep it dairy free, but it's a really great, versatile, healthy dip to have in the fridge. And like this will last in the fridge for a week as well. And I'm just going to do a quick tomato bruschetta, which will be our third dip, which is easy to do. You can just, perfect to go onto croutons, refreshing. Coming into those warmer months now where tomatoes are back in season, basil's back in season. Make the most of them while they're nice and sweet. Just as that. So just a little bit of red onion, not too much, because I'm going to add some fresh garlic as well. I'm a lover of red onion in salads, so it goes in everything.
These are just some fig leaves from my fig tree, or you can use grapevine leaves if you have a vine.
So this is our garlic, so we grow garlic also. So this is at fresh stage, so we've just pulled it today. Quite strong in flavour, so just a small amount of this one. I'm a bit funny with garlic, I like to only use Australian garlic, so we try and keep ours as long as we can. So nice and fine.
And it's got a bit easier now, even if people aren't in this area, to get Australian grown garlic in the supermarkets. They've got a lot better than they used to be, haven't they?
Got some South Australian olive oil.
Beautiful.
Salt and pepper.
Right.
And just a bit of balsamic vinegar as well. Basil.
So this is like a bit of a salsa.
Yeah, so, and then you can just have it on crusty croutons, or if you've picked up a nice local loaf of sourdough from around here.
Pale green looks really nice against that beetroot dip. And I think again, that's something, they say you eat with your eyes first, don't they? So just think about the colours that you put together.
I might do the bruschetta on here, because then otherwise it's a bit
we
cramped.
might get a bit too crowded on us in the big bowls. Turning out to be quite nice because it's almost those festive Christmassy colours of red and green. Coincidentally. And there we go.
So easy, entertaining, fresh ingredients.
So we're just going to look at a very simple cheese board now, which can go alongside our veg, and it's quite a nice thing to do your cheese board separately.
Important with cheese, you need to leave it out of the fridge at least an hour.
Yeah, at the very least an hour.
At least an hour.
So we've got an Australian camembert there, a really nice Tasmanian classic blue, a wedge of cheddar there. So those are our three cheeses on the plate. I really love these. These are beetroot crackers and they're rice crackers, so they're gluten-free. You can choose several different types, but don't go mad. Just keep it nice and simple. Smoked almonds I really like, but you can use dry roasted almonds or other nuts, and I like those just loose on the board. So if I don't have quince paste, I'll use a few dried figs and I'll just slice them through. There's some lovely dried apples from Tara here that we'll use.
So they're local dried apples?
Fantastic.
They're from Appalina Hills?
Oh yes, absolutely delicious.
And that's dried quince.
Oh, lovely. So that is like a quince paste.
I've cooked it in the oven in the syrup and then dehydrated it.
Oh, beautiful. What a clever way to do it. That's so much easier than making quince paste.
It was an experiment.
Obviously worked. I'll be tasting some of that later, so let's cluster a bit of that round there as well. And I think those oranges will give some beautiful colour at the end there. Oh, I love the way the blood oranges go with the beetroot crackers. And there we go. There's a really pretty cheese and dried fruit board. Beautiful, done. Great. Over to you, Sarah.
Alright, I'm just going to do a quick dessert platter. We've just made a few simple desserts. If you don't have time, you can always go to the supermarket and buy them and replate them, and people would never know.
So, to be honest, with the brownies, you could even buy a Betty Crocker mix and mix it up. 2 minutes.
It's just really about making it easy and quick. So, I'm going to start off with, I've made some, so these are like similar to a bliss ball. So I've made some banana, coconut and oat balls. I've also made a chocolate orange and pepita seed slice. So
the seeds are like little nutritional bombs, really,
they are.
aren't they? They've just got so much protein and goodness in them. And it's quite good. I mean, if you have got nut allergy people, then seeds are great.
Yeah.
Most people who are nut allergic are not seed.
So they're just a little chocolate banana truffle as well. I've got the dried citrus again, but this time I have just drizzled a little bit of dark chocolate, like 90% cocoa. So just for a little colour. We had some really nice ripe pineapples available, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to dry them. It'd be really nice dried.
We'll do cocktails next year.
So these are still early on in the season for mangoes.
Yeah.
Come closer to Christmas, they'll be, obviously in their peak season.
Yeah.
We're quite particular. We really like the KP mangoes.
Yes.
We find them a lot sweeter.
Yeah.
Really nice colour and flavour. So KP is Kensington Pride mangoes. It's just a variety of the mango.
Just nice, regular, even slices. They look so pretty on the plate. And actually, I'll just show you, children really like them because when you eat a slice, you've got like the little star or the flower of the fruit in the middle, and then can nibble their way around that. It's a nice way to serve apples anyway, let alone on a platter. You can sit on the platter like that.
So we've also got some brownie here that Denise has made.
You don't want to kill yourself doing this stuff, so if need be, use a brownie mix. It's
Yeah.
very easy.
Oh, look at that. Nice and gooey still, Denise. Delicious.
That perfectly on.
So, there we go. There's our easy, entertaining ideas coming into festive season using local, fresh produce. Alright, so thank you for your help, Denise. It was great working with you.
It's an absolute pleasure, Tara. Really nice to see your produce displayed so beautifully.
Thank you.
Well, here we are. Last stop, bus stop in this case. Last ad from our principal sponsors. A big thank you for all of those who've been involved, small, large, volunteers, all of the people that helped make it, all the people from me as president of the committee who supported me in this idea as we went forward to find a way of keeping the Uraidla show active, a part of the community, and going forward. I didn't want to pause. I thought it's going to be a challenge, but it's going to be something which I think we've all risen to. So well done to everyone. Thank you to all of our principal sponsors and our small sponsors. I'm thanking everyone over and over again, but I mean it. Thanks everyone.
thank the sponsor of our wonderful chocolate cake section, Springwood Farms of Summertown, and the winner is Evelyn Wagner.
I absolutely loved the entries. I think everyone did an amazing job. There wasn't a bad entry, so that's always pleasing. Considering people hadn't made a sponge before and it was their first time, I think that's amazing because they were all wonderful. They were all great. So I think that's a definite highlight. I think everyone just did a really good job. I think it was great to see it go online and not be cancelled altogether.
So there we have it. Thank you for joining us. It's been a difficult year. The whole online version of the Uraidla show has been a challenge for us all. But thanks for taking part. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you in 2021.